Class, and welcome back to another great day for some anatomy and physiology. Again, my name is Mr. Appeal White, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how our muscles work. Okay, and so I'm going to start class off a little differently today. Could I have a volunteer please come up to the front of the class? Leslie, awesome, perfect. So Leslie, all I want you to do is catch and toss back the bottle. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Good? Good, perfect. Go ahead and sit down. Give a round of applause. Awesome job. And Leslie, I want to ask, in a broad sense, what was happening in that little activity?
I thought about how to catch the water bottle.
Perfect. Yep. So that's a very important piece, is the idea of thinking about it. And I think that you were thinking about it because I initially said, I want you to catch and throw it back, right? So you're already stimulating what you were going to do. Okay. And so that's kind of the idea of how our muscles work. And just like the rest of our body, and just like I said at the beginning of the school year, I want you to think of our body as a book, okay? And the idea that it all correlates with one another, or all kind of works in unison with one another to ultimately create a book. And each part of our body is a different chapter, okay? And so, grab my markers. So, the intro to today's chapter or book is the idea that your body has 640 muscles, okay? No matter if you're big, small, tall, short, whatever it is, everybody has the same amount of muscles, and all those muscles are working the same way to make sure that you can catch a water bottle, that you can pick up a pencil, and everything like that. Those little movements, the huge movements that allow your body to work. But how does it work, okay? And so this brings us into chapter 1, okay? So in chapter 1, we're speaking specifically on the brain, okay? So today we have 3 different chapters. We have chapter 1, which is the brain, chapter 2, which is the spine, and chapter 3, which is your muscle, okay? And so in chapter 1, we're speaking on the brain. I want everybody to kind of fill their head, feel how smart you are, think about graduating, finding an awesome job, and going to college, whatever you want to do. And think about the idea that your brain has all these different aspects. It's almost like the control center of the body, one of them. And when we think of the brain, a lot of people forget about this little portion at the top of the spine, at the bottom of the skull. It's also called the mini brain, and it's called your cerebellum. And it's called the mini brain because this part of the brain works solely for muscle activity. Okay? And so this is what's causing all those 640 muscles in our body to contract, to relax, to do all that stuff. And it's doing that by sending signals or hormones to the muscle. Okay, and that's what we'll end chapter 1, is that idea that the cerebellum sends these signals, and these signals get sent to the spine. Okay? Going to chapter 2. So in chapter 2, we're speaking on the spine. More specifically, we're speaking on the nervous system, which is another control center for our body. Okay? And in the nervous system, you have this large complex of nerves working together to do so many different things within your body, but also one of the biggest ones is allowing your muscles to contract, okay? And so your nervous system and your spine is consisted of your vertebrae, which is each piece of the spine. So in your vertebrae, I'm going to draw over this picture. That's your vertebrae. And in your vertebrae, the signal moves into the vertebrae and gets transitioned into what's called a nerve. Now I want you to think about ordering something online, okay? Now when you order something online, the package then is shipped, okay? So wherever you get the package from, let's say you get it from Amazon, okay? So your brain is Amazon, okay? Then your package gets shipped. So this is your shipment. Your signal is your shipment. That shipment then, from wherever you order it from, goes to the next shipping spot. So you think about ordering something, it has to go through a post office first, okay? And so you think about a post office, there's so much mail going in and out that it's insane, it's incredible. And that's the same idea with your vertebrae. You have so many messages going in and out, each going to its final destination, okay? And so that shipment goes to the vertebrae. We'll think of the vertebrae as the post office, where it gets exchanged. And then that signal then turns to your nerve. And the cool thing about your nerve, and that's this pre-drawn picture that I have here, is that you have nerves attached from a specific part in our vertebrae to a specific muscle. And each muscle has a nerve attached to a vertebrae, and each vertebrae has a signal that's going through it, through the nerve, into the muscle, and ultimately contracting the muscle, okay? And so that concludes chapter 2 with the idea of the nerve, okay? And so we're gonna start chapter 3 with kind of backtracking to the nerve. And I wanna draw these little lightning bolts because this is the next very important piece to how your muscles work. And these little lightning bolts are called action potentials. And in these action potentials, the signal gets turned into an electrical stimulus. So it's an actual electrical impulse on the nerve, moving or propagating down the nerve to ultimately act on the muscle, okay? And so we think about the idea of our package. So we've gone from Amazon all the way to the post office, and now we're continuing on from the post office. We think of that action potential being our vehicle to move our signal, okay? And that vehicle finally lands to our muscle, or in other words, our house, the destination, okay? The only difference is the package doesn't move the house, but the signal moves the muscle, okay? And so we look at it, before that action potential hit the muscle was doing nothing. As soon as that action potential and that signal hit the muscle contracted, okay? So I want you all to flex your biceps for me real quick. Good, you did that so quick, so easy. I said flex, half of the room was like, oh yeah, I've been going to the gym every week. I've been doing my workouts, and I saw it, I know y'all did. And so you think about it, all of this is happening in a split second, okay? And most of the time, this is happening because we hear or think something that we automatically want to do. It's voluntary. We're controlling our muscles. And so when I asked Leslie to catch the bottle and toss the bottle back, her brain was already thinking what nerve the signal needs to go to in order to get the muscles needed to ultimately contract and catch, okay? And so there's hundreds of nerves, thousands of nerves acting on several different muscles in order for them to contract. So just to recap today, our 3 chapters, the brain, the spine, the muscle, all working in unison with each other. The brain and cerebellum sending that signal or that shipment to the vertebrae being the post office where the messages are transformed to the nerve. That nerve then creating a new signal or sending that signal to the muscle, and that muscle contracting because of that action potential. And tomorrow and later on in the week, what we're going to talk about are our 2 friends, actin and myosin. Okay? And we are going to look more physiologically in depth on everything that's happening from the vertebrae down to the muscle. All right, class. You are dismissed. Have a great day. Thank you.